Welcome everybody to Disclosure TV. I'm not putting up my my intro today because for some reason YouTube thinks it's drop a bomb on me by what's their faces, Def Jam. They keep putting a copyright claim on a siren, and they won't do anything about it. They've put a copyright claim on every one of my videos that contain a siren. So, but what I wanted to do was update you all on what's going on with the my earlier story with it, which is what I caught CNN doing, which I think they committed a crime, and I'm pretty sure that the deep state let CNN know about the Roger Stone arrest. So I'm going to give you a little bit further information, and it seems that plots are twisting, characters are changing, and that stories are changing. Okay, so what I'm going to start with is I'm going to show you a tweet from earlier today from New Day, which is CNN's program. It says CNN's @David Shordell was on the ground when Roger Stone was arrested in Fort Lauderdale, Florida this morning. He says he was monitoring the situation because of unusual grand jury activity in Washington, D.C. yesterday. So I guess he flew from Washington, D.C. yesterday afternoon and sat all night at this guy's house. Now, in this picture, it shows you a timestamp of 10:21 or 10:31 a.m. This video that they're showing you here was not played at any time during 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. So if he recorded this video and sent it to CNN at that time. They could put any timestamp they want on there. But this video right here did not air because this lady does not do, I don't think she does New Day. She may. But this was not on between the hours of 7 or 9. I think she comes on at 9 o'clock. I'm not sure. But this particular interview that you're seeing was not on any time between 7 and 9 o'clock because I watched it and I then reported right after, and I would have included this in my report. So it's being said that there's unusual there was unusual grand jury activity. There's no way in the world. This particular scene, by the way, I did talk about the grand jury, but this stuff you're seeing here is new. This was tweeted out 12 hours ago, which 12, so I guess that would be 8 o'clock a.m. But it wasn't on the screen. So it says that it was unusual grand jury activity. If anybody knows anything about the grand jury, it's especially Mueller's grand jury. For the last 2 years, he hasn't released anything. He hasn't released anything to the public that he didn't want released, including arrests. Arrests did not even get released. And this guy right here says that he followed unusual activity from the grand jury, which means he was in Washington, D.C., saw unusual activity. Now, the unusual activity, he's saying that the grand jury convened on a Thursday instead of a Friday. And for him to know that, he would have had to been there. And I don't think anybody knows who the grand jury is for the Mueller investigation. Otherwise, they would have been plastered all over the news somewhere. It is the age of social media. They would have been plastered somewhere. Filmed walking in and out of a building. Somebody standing on a public street watching them. The government does not tell people when or where or what a convening of the grand jury is. Nobody. Especially in the Russia probe. You're not getting any information from Robert Mueller because that's the only one who's allowed to release the information. So, that being said, let me go. I have another. This is the guy. This is a guy, as you can see. The reason I want to show you this is the video you saw this morning where the police rolled up, or the FBI rolled up, and the guy was still recording, and not one single FBI agent came towards him, even though they were going to somebody's house literally 20 feet in front of them with automatic weapons serving a sealed indictment. They did not move him. They didn't talk to him. They didn't even look at him. They knew he was there. They knew he was there. Okay, so if you look at this scene in the background, what's in the background of this scene, you'll see crime scene tape, and you'll see the police blocking it off. When the government goes to do such a thing, and such a high profile thing, they're going to make you leave. They will block it off just like you see it taped now. I mean, if you can't see it, I'll zoom in a little further for you. This is standard procedure. This guy, from a couple hours, for hours and hours, said he was the only one on scene in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. He said he recorded the film. He said he recorded the raid. He recorded all of it. Now, that is what a crime scene looks like. That's what a scene looks like where somebody is going to, where the FBI is going to their home. They use local law enforcement. In the video, you will not see local law enforcement. You will not see any, I'm going to show you a video where you won't see anybody on the street. So let me get you that video. So the video that was now, and okay, so at one point in time, they never released how they got the video. Now, the guy, just as I said, this gentleman here seems to be the one that recorded the video, and that's the only person they gave credit to was him. What's his name? David Shortall. Okay, so that's the only person they gave credit to for hours and hours and hours. So let me go back here. Now, this guy's name is Gilbert De La Rosa. He is a freelance journalist out of California. See California right there? That is downtown Los Angeles. I used to live there. I know what that looks like. I know what that is. That's where he lives, is LA. So he is a freelance photographer. So let me go here. So Gilbert De La Rosa retweeted something. Okay. So what we have here is a video of what he says right here. He says, from my viewfinder, Roger Stone's home getting raided. Now, he is saying that he is the one who filmed it. That is his camera, his viewfinder. Now, another person has popped up. He's in the driver's seat. I hope you all can see that pretty well. I mean, I can try to zoom in even if you'd like me to. Okay, so this is the video. Now, if you recall, in the other video, there was no wind at all. This guy right now is sitting in a vehicle. You can see it's dark on the outside. But this guy gets out of the truck and watch not one FBI agent, even this agent right here. I'm going to pause it. That agent right there walks right past him and never looks at him. That's not going to. Okay. Watch this. Walks right past him, doesn't even look at him. He's got an automatic weapon getting ready to serve a sealed indictment, a federal sealed indictment, and never looks at a guy filming. Never looks at the guy standing in the middle of the road filming. 20 feet or maybe 25 feet from the front door. All these officers, I think there was a total of 29 officers, maybe more. Not a single one of these guys looked at the person in the middle of the road with a camera. Now, I have family that works in law enforcement. My father worked in law enforcement. I've done some stuff for the FBI myself. Can't tell you what. That is not how the law enforcement reacts to somebody standing in the middle of the road 25 feet away from somebody they're serving a sealed indictment on, brandishing assault weapons. That's not how they act. That woman right there was tiptoeing that didn't even look right either. That kind of didn't look right either. That looked kind of put on to me. So, as they approached the gentleman's front door, they stopped the video. Okay, so let's go back just a hair. Through this whole video, you see nobody else except for FBI agents on this street. And somehow or another, CNN is the only people that get the video. CNN. So, as of right now, I'm going to show you the other story. I'm going to show you the other story. By the way, this guy right here, Robert De La Rosa, I don't know why he's got a check mark beside his name. But he does. I'm going to go over these videos and see what's up. Something don't look right there. That's dark as hell compared to that video right there. Really, really dark. You can see more in that video than you can this video. And it's a whole lot clearer. So this video back here ends. As you could see the FBI coming up the street. He was recording when they was pulling up the street. You mean to tell me he's been sitting there running through tape that entire time just to get a shot of maybe somebody being arrested? And it just so happens that the video starts right when the FBI pulls up. There they all come in a straight line. As you can see, they're getting out, like I said, not paying not a bit of attention to this guy. They don't even know who he is. And during a crime scene, they want to know who everybody is. They want you out of the way. That's not typical behavior at all. As a matter of fact, that looks like a... That guy right there looks like he's carrying he's carrying photographic equipment and a camera. If he works for the FBI, I imagine he does. But usually they don't walk up until after the area's been cleared. But as you see, there's no the report that other affiliates were on this street waiting for something to happen. Here's your proof that they weren't. So the fact that other outlets were waiting for Roger Stone is not true. There's nobody up the road because he pans in both directions. Yeah, so there's a van sitting up there, and that's a company van with a name on it. And it's not a, and as you can see up front above the main video, up above the FBI agent's vehicle, there's nobody up at that end, not one car except for that van. So the fact that they said that other news agencies was there, full of crap. They're full of crap. That guy, CNN, got a heads up that they was there. They sure as crap did. Now, that video ends right before they knock on the door. This ugly video compared to this one. That is a whole lot darker, a whole lot clearer.
Now they're about to say another warning. FBI warrant. This is called, you know, the grab shot in the vernacular, and it is remarkable to watch this all unfold.
Yes, I'm sure it is remarkable to watch it all unfold.
That door, and yes, you know, standard operating procedure for the FBI to show.
Yes, a standard operating procedure for the FBI, but there's nobody standing. See how close he is to that house? They wouldn't have let him that close to a house when the FBI is trying to raid a home.
Heavily armed.
In riot gear.
In riot gear, just as they said. In riot gear.
Standard operating procedure for the FBI to show up.
This guy right here to the left is not even looking at it. Looking at the guy on the camera.
Heavily armed.
He should be out of the area. No, I don't care who you are. While a crime scene is being investigated, they don't let you film there. They don't care who you are. Not a single bit. CNN is full of crap. Somebody from the deep state gave them permission to do this right here. This was a spectacle. It was all a show. And I don't care whether the guy's innocent or guilty. I don't care whether he colluded with Trump or not. I'm trying to prove that the deep state exists. That's what I'm trying to prove. That's what I'm setting out trying to do.
Like this, but they didn't do this for other people connected in the investigation. So it is remarkable that they did this without warning, without any indication of Stone's
without warning, without any indication
beforehand that this would happen.
I mean, as Ann just told us, the reason they do that is because they fear that the person's going to be a flight risk, so they want to do it under the cover of darkness. room inside the house that they don't want to
see this lady right here. I'm pretty sure she goes off the air
up to try to hide some of that.
because New Day ends. I forget what time they end.
Page indictment in our hands right now. We have this
See,
exclusive video. We are pouring over it.
They have the indictment in their hands. It's 6:55 a.m. The exclusive video they got of this happening was at 6 a.m. 55 minutes later, they had the documents. CNN was the only media outlet that had the documents of Roger Stone's arrest. 55 minutes later, from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, where the FBI, CNN's in New York or Los Angeles. But CNN has the documents, they have the documents 55 minutes later. And yes, this arrest happened at 6 a.m. And they have the documents in their hands
at Roger Stone's home.
55 minutes later.
We have a 24-page indictment in our hands right now. We have this exclusive video. We are
a 24-page indictment. And they're the only ones that have it. And I'm guaranteed you that, and the fact that they have it during nobody brought it. There was no commercial break. So while we were sitting here watching this video, they had it then. And not only that, there's no telling how long they had that paperwork. Hours. I'm assuming hours. They had the indictment papers hours before this video happened. They're trying to, CNN's trying their best to explain how they got the video at the right time, and they was there at the right time when nobody's been at any other arrest, any other right time, because it's hush-hush. Nobody knows. Only Robert Mueller knows, and the FBI agents who are going after him that day, after whoever they're going after that day. Over the last 2 years, not one person has been videotaped as part of videotape of being arrested as part of Mueller's investigation. Nobody. And this guy, the David Chotel guy, was the only one there, and now all of a sudden this Gilbert De La Rosa was there, and he is actually what he does a lot of work for Vice News, actually. ABC Houston, he is for hire. He goes where the money is. I'm sure that he went where the money was. I'm sure. This one was retweeted 10 hours ago. So let me show you what else is being said. So now they're if I can find it, let me find it. I think it's on CNN's CNN. So on CNN's webpage, on CNN's Twitter, it states how they got that information. Let me find it. I'm going to find it for you. Well, before I get to it, this one says, indictment, Roger Stone coordinated with Trump campaign officials. Stone, those officials don't exist, says he will plead not guilty. Actually, his indictment consists of perjury. He lied, pretty much. But as far as it stating he had an affiliation with the actual investigation, or with the actual Russia thing, it didn't. So right here it says Roger Stone, who has been indicted on charges brought by Special Counsel Mueller, is the sixth individual. All these people right here have not been recorded being arrested, except for Roger Stone. That's the only one. That's the only person they caught. And they went, and all the other ones, I'm not even sure if they even went full blazing into automatic weapons. I'm not even sure if they did all that. Not even sure. So I'm trying to find you. Right here. Stay with. Right past. Forgive me real quick. I mean, I'm right. I know it's right here. I should have had it set up. Sorry, you all. Give me a second. Kristen Davis, who shared a duplex in New York with Roger Stone, tells CNN that the FBI called her at 6 a.m. to let her know there was a search warrant for her residence, and they were at the door. They called her. Whoever Kristen Davis is. The FBI called her, but they went guns a-blazing at Roger Stone's house. About a dozen FBI agents and local police got out of the cars very quickly. Local police was not there. And fanned across, and you saw it, there was no other police there. That's a lie. We watched the video. They fanned out across Roger Stone's front lawn, explained CNN's David, who was on the ground for Stone's arrest. They're due to unusual grand jury activity in D.C. yesterday. So this guy's been all over the United States for the last 24 hours. So anyway, I'm still trying to find it. I think I may have passed it up. But anyway, they're saying that the information that they received was because this guy right here, had been that guy right there had been staking out the area for the last, I guess, few days. But how he got an inkling of what happened in Washington, D.C., I'll never know. He does not look like, he may be, he's a crime and justice producer. How CNN got this video and the two people got the video and sent it to CNN, somebody knew. Explains CNN's David Shortell, who was on the ground for Stone's arrest. That implies that David Shortell works for CNN. This video showed that he didn't.
Just this road here, Roger Stone lives.
David Shortell, crime and justice producer. Maybe he does. But the way he tells it, he was in Washington. He heard some information, or he saw some unusual activity. Now, his unusual activity was that the grand jury convened, and that's what made him go all the way down to Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and stake it out. And he, by himself alone, did that. Now, there's another guy saying that he was there, and he recorded it. The two stories, there's two stories on how all this went down. Whether that went down that way or not, the only thing the FBI still did not move that guy out of the way, even though they had AR-15s and were serving a sealed indictment on an individual they thought to be dangerous, because that is a felony search warrant. That is a felony search warrant. That's a felony search and seizure. That's what that is. That's how they work. Especially with somebody standing right in the middle of the road in front of somebody's house. They would have moved him away from there. Not to mention, right after the video, they air for the very first time they air the video, they share with you that they have the documents. And at that time was 6:55 a.m. The arrest happened at 6 a.m., which means that they had to have those documents the whole freaking time. They knew it was going down. They were told it was going down. The only people that had the information that could have happened was somebody from the government told them to be at Roger Stone's house to record that shit. Sorry, I didn't mean to say shit. Somebody told, from the Mueller investigation, somebody from the deep state told CNN to go there. That's where they would be. Because you can't get sealed indictment information. And the fact that the FBI went out of protocol, they went out of they didn't do what they were supposed to do at all. And then how is CNN supposed to have the video and the indictments all together at one time? I could see one or the other, but not both. How they received the documents at 6:55, which they aired, and that actually, if I can remember, they didn't take a break for about, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes. So they had it prior to then. So that means that takes you down to 6:45. But they knew it was happening already because they edited the video, as you saw. As you plainly see, they had enough time to edit the video. It takes a little while to edit video. So once they got the video, so that means they had those documents. They had the indictment documents, and that's probably how they knew Roger Stone was going to be in, how they knew the FBI was going after him. Now, why the FBI went after him the way they did, because they didn't go after anybody else that way. As you can see, that Christine woman, they called her. Everybody else they called. They called their lawyers. They told their lawyers. They told them, okay, this is what's going on. We'll come in. No guns, no none of that crap. But they did do him that way. There's enough evidence. with what CNN did and how they portrayed it, and now they're changing their story. There's enough evidence to say there's enough evidence that deep state exists within our government. The deep state exists. And CNN, because of their hatred for Trump for some reason, I could care less what this guy did. I could care less right now. I could care less about Trump. On my channel, I could care less about Trump. I could care less about Roger Stone. But I'm trying to show proof of the deep state. That's what I'm trying to show proof of. And I only use evidence to show proof. I always show the sources. I always show the proof. And that's what I do. Oh, here it is. How CNN obtained video of FBI agents raiding Roger Stone's home. And here, I'll let you read some of the comments. Half of the people do not believe it. They do not believe it. The FBI tipped off CNN as usual shady reporting by a terrible news organization. Because you were part of the raid, this is beyond your scope of integrity. Obtained video. It's literally your reporter stating they've been on scene since 5 a.m. Nothing demonstrates collusion of FBI and CNN more than this video. That's true. And if you obtain the video, and you look at it for yourself, the car was running. The guy takes his foot off the brake. The guy filmed the FBI coming down the road. That means that the same guy who was recording the video and the same guy, the David guy that was in Washington just hours before to hear that the grand jury was going through unusual activity. The grand jury doesn't meet all willy-nilly like that. The sealed indictment they've probably had since last week. The sealed indictment, by the way, does not have a date on it. I have copies of the sealed indictment, and it does not have anybody. It don't even have the grand jury's name on it, which is odd. It's supposed to have the foreperson over the whole grand jury. So there's 20, maybe 15 to 20 grand jury members, and they pick a person to designate as their spokesperson, as the head of the group, and their foreperson's name wasn't on it. Now, I did a Freedom of Information Act request on the FBI to release that information to me. Whether they will or not, I don't know. Because the only name on there is Robert Mueller, and it's a digital signature, I assume. They may not give it to me because the grand jury they're not done. I know they were extended by a judge in Washington. Not in Washington, D.C., but in Washington State. A federal judge in Washington State. He was the one who extended extended the grand jury by 6 months. Same grand jury. You know, I mean, I've given enough proof and then turned around and given more proof after they've twisted their stories and twisted the words, added new characters to the plot. I mean, I don't know what else to give you. I mean, if I haven't proved it here, I think I do pretty good at proving stuff, and I use a common sense approach at it. I usually do. So, everybody, if you like my video, like, subscribe. This has been an update on the Roger Stone CNN footage. Like, subscribe. I'm going to be switching over to a new platform. I'm working on that. So, and I have to do something with my videos because they're being copyrighted by Def Jam Records. Not sure why. But as I said, if you like my videos, you want to keep me doing research, subscribe, hit the notification button. Keep on keeping on, people. And this is Disclosure TV, and I'm out.